Hey folks, it's David back again with another video. Welcome back to Verse by Shape, versebyshape.com, and today I want to be telling you all about something that happened to me recently within the past 3 or 4 weeks, in keeping with uh, something I said in a recent video about how I'm going to make a whole video that just has nothing but the details of the appendicitis episode, my medical emergency that I've gone through, and what all that was about, and just everything that happened. So I can go ahead and get it off my chest, make kind of a historical document about it instead of thinking about it as I drive along in the truck. I drive a semi-tractor for a living, and I've been thinking about doing this, so I need to do it, get all the details out, in keeping with what I said in that previous video, so that this is done, and you all know what this is about, because I'm going to be talking about it and some things going forward on this channel. Whew. So I'm here today. It's been a beautiful Sunday. By the way, this is going to be kind of a long video. I'll try not to go over an hour, but I want to talk about everything from the start to finish, and just what this has done to me, because I'm still kind of reeling from it. Still trying to make sure I got my head screwed firmly on my shoulders, because I've had to rethink some things, and you'll understand why and what I mean by that as we go throughout this video and I tell you all of what happened. Hopefully you'll understand. Hopefully you won't think any less of me. Maybe you'll just say a prayer for me. That I would appreciate that very much. So I'm here today in a very unironed shirt to finally make this video while I have the house all to myself. So here goes. I got a calendar here so I get these dates right. It was last month when I first started having pains in my abdomen that I wasn't sure what it was. It was June now, so this was been Wednesday the 27th. Yes, Wednesday the 27th of May is when this got started. I was trucking up in Pennsylvania, pulled over into a rest area. Feeling a little out of sorts, maybe like a constipated feeling. But just to give a little background leading up to that night, I haven't pursued the best diet in my trucking. I've done very good sometimes with trying to stick to a particular diet, carnivore, no sugary drinks, no candy, nothing like that, because I used to just eat garbage all the time, and I gained 30, 40 pounds as a trucker doing that. And I've lost some weight since I actually started exercising discipline, but I kind of fell off of it when I let myself get really depressed about something concerning my father and his health. It's neither here nor there. I'm just trying to catch up to speed to that day, and why I have to say that I believe that the catalyst for me getting appendicitis, yes, appendicitis, at the age of 41, now 42, this all happened right on the cusp of me starting my 43rd year on this planet, is because I had eaten, this is just my thoughts, I don't have a medical, no doctor has said anything, I haven't discussed this, it's just, I think I know what triggered it. I just eating some junk, and I ate 2 full bags of salt and Lay's potato chips, salt and vinegar chips, inside of 4 or 5 days, and just drinking soda, just not caring, just driving and driving and driving, eating and driving and eating and eating and driving, and just that's been my life for a few years now. Again, I have no proof that that's what triggered the event, but I kind of know that's what did it. And so that Wednesday night, when I was pulled over into a rest area, I was just feeling a little bit out of sorts, like maybe I was constipated. Wanted to go use the restroom in the rest area. They're very good about that. Sometimes you pull over into a rest area, it's just for trucks. No guarantee there's any facilities at all, but one that's for the general public and private cars. And you know this if you've traveled the interstate at all. The rest areas, they have nice restrooms. Maybe a security guard to hold down the fort, keep things in order. So I don't mind parking at a rest area at all. Some drivers don't like it, whatever. Too many off the beaten path details. Let me get to it. I felt this constipated feeling that turned into I thought it was gas. Well, we're 5 minutes into this, and I finally get to it. I thought it was gas. The thing is, I don't get gas. It's just not something I've been plagued with in my life. And I started to think, this kind of hurts. This kind of hurts. And it was kind of floating around in my gut that night, and I was trying to sleep, couldn't sleep well, couldn't get to sleep because it was starting to hurt. I couldn't get comfortable with what was happening. I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I sure hope it passes because I for real can't get comfortable. I can't get good sleep, and it was just a nuisance. A nuisance. It kept me from getting rest that night. And as a trucker, as anybody, but in particular, if you're going to be traveling the roads, everybody's got to get their sleep. But in particular, a driver can't be driving fatigued. It could be a disaster. You could have a wreck. So I started driving at like 2:30 because I was like, I just can't get to sleep. I tried to sleep, but couldn't get comfortable, and the pain was becoming kind of something else. And about 2:30 in the morning, I started driving. I had about 90 miles to go to get to my delivery in Marietta, Pennsylvania, delivering to Armstrong up there on River Road. And I happened to know that they got a big lot there. I was thinking, you know what? If I can just get there, start my day, I can use the sleeper berth option. I could just sit and try and sleep there. Maybe by then my body will be willing to be able to just sleep and get some rest, because I didn't have to be at my delivery at a particular time. So I just had to be there that day before their closing time. Or no, they did want it there by 3 p.m. I'm sorry. So I did that, but after about 30 minutes of driving from starting up at 2:30 in the morning, I started to feel kind of woozy, just like something's up, something's not right. And not that I like driving at night, because I don't, but 2:30 in the morning is ideal trucking time because it's just going to be a car or two and maybe half a dozen trucks among a 5-mile stretch. It's just perfect for getting there and not having to worry about a lot of traffic. Again, if you like to drive at night, early morning, which I do not. But I got so just in the darkness, just driving, and like, man, I don't feel good. Something's off. I don't know what this is. I kept thinking it's gas. Because I know people have like terrible pain when they have gas. I'm like, maybe that's what I got. But then I became so like kind of dizzy, like faint, that I said, I gotta pull over. I feel like maybe I'm about to black out here. Pulled over on the side of the road. You're not supposed to do that. I hit my emergency flashers. The rule is, if you know you're going to be on the side of the road more than 10 minutes, put your triangles out. I said, I'm not going to be here that long. I just kind of arose from my seat and just kind of collapsed in the sleeper berth mattress where I sleep at night. And I'm like, oh, I almost felt like I was going to throw up. I suddenly felt nauseous. And then I was like, oh. As the dizziness wore off, I'm just thinking, got cars passing me out there. Eventually, maybe a police officer might pull up behind me. I was like, I am sick, folks. That's what I was thinking to myself. I said, I got to get up. Got to get on with this. I got back behind the wheel, and I got there. Hour and a half later, I was at my delivery in Marietta, Pennsylvania. Now, Thursday would have been May the 28th in the morning. And I just shut down. Wasn't going to bother about delivering or getting with the check-in folks at the security office or anything. They just got this big lot where they keep a few empty trailers and some guys parked there just because you need a break. And they don't mind you parking there, which is great of them. Very great of them. Not every customer has that amenity for you, a place to park. Instead of they got to kick you out of their place because they don't have room for you to park. But they do. And I'm like, I had this plan. I'm just going to try and take a nap. So I tried for like half an hour. I did take a brief nap. I was able to just lie on my back straight. Don't shift to the left or right. And even though I still had this pain, which had already started to want to settle over in my right abdomen where your appendix is. I was able to just sleep just for a little while. I was like, oh man, finally I'm just asleep. I was just a mess. Turned over on my right side, started to feel nauseous. Back straight. Turned over on my back from my side, like, okay, it's going away, it's going away. A little while later, I tried my left side. Nauseous again for some reason. This time I said, you know what? It's the kind of nausea that comes on you suddenly. You're like, whoa, I'm about to throw up, and you don't even know why. You just know that nauseous feeling when you get it. I'm like, I can't be in the truck. I got out of the truck in between the tractor and trailer, and I was just like, I don't know what's going on, but I know from being sick throughout my life, like whenever you throw up, you feel generally good afterwards. You've emptied yourself of whatever the problem was, if that was the problem. So I just kind of trying to like make myself. I hunched my back and everything, hoping nobody could see me, but really I felt so bad I didn't really give a care if anybody saw me or not. I'm just like trying to make myself vomit, because it wasn't the kind of nausea or vomit where there's something in your stomach that needed to come up. It was just a triggering. It was just nausea. There was nothing that needed to come out of me, like bad food or whatever. But I made myself like spit something up there, and I just looked at it on the ground. Is that it? Is that why I'm sick? It was just some, not to be too graphic, but it was just some stomach acid looking stuff on the ground. I'm like, oh, I don't feel much better. I threw up, but I don't feel much better. This doesn't make sense. This does not compute with everything I've ever experienced before, right? So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Started to try and walk around to the back of the trailer just to breathe fresh air. And like, after trying to do that, I was like, oh, man, something is up. Something is wrong with me, and I still have these pains. And I'm thinking about food poisoning, a virus, some kind of poison. I'm thinking about appendicitis because I've been kind of scared of that in my life, which you might not think that at all after you've watched this video. But it's something I thought about in the past because I know how dangerous it is and how you can die because of the bacteria that's released, the mucus, horrible bacteria. If your appendix ruptures before you can get to a hospital and have it removed. And so it's something you need to be concerned about. So I'm thinking about that. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? But the thing is, something that kept coming back to me again and again and again was the pain. I'm like, how painful does it have to be? And my internal dialogue about how painful does it need to be almost got me killed. And you'll be respecting that, I think, before the end of this video. And again, it's why I'm asking you, please say a prayer for me. I'm serious, because this is something that I've had to think about in terms of actual decisions that I'm making in my life. Because I'm thinking, while I'm there in that lot in Marietta, Pennsylvania, over 1,000 miles from home, thinking, do I need to call 911? What is this? I'm in some kind of pain that I've never felt before. And the thing is, something that also kept coming back to me was this memory I have of when I worked at the shipyard down here in Pascagoula, Mississippi. It was Ingalls. It was Huntington Ingalls when I worked there. No, I'm getting it wrong. Huntington Ingalls when I worked there the second time in like 2013. But way back in 2004, I worked there all year in the hull department as a structural welding apprentice. All of 2004. And there was this day where I started getting these sharp pains right where your appendix is. It was over here on the right side. I guess not right where your appendix is. It wasn't appendicitis, but it was over here on the right side, and that's what made me think, oh man, is that what I got? Because this hurts. This hurts bad. And I kept thinking about that stabbing pain people talk about for appendicitis. I'm like, I better tell my foreman. He lets me go to the clinic, which they have there. That's a huge shipyard. I don't know if you know what's what with the Ingalls Shipyard in Pascagoula, but it's a big Navy contracted shipyard. That's quite the place. Biggest employer in Mississippi, I think, unless that's changed, which I don't think it has. Anyway, they let me go to the clinic. They checked me out, and it really was just gas. And I've never had anything like that since. And I was scared to death, like, well, at least I'm with the doctors or whatever. I'm doing whatever they say. But in the end, as they're kind of pushing on me and talking to me, it's like, it went away, and the pain did. And they're like, no, we think this was just a false alarm, just gas. And so my foreman, from that day forward, he had kind of like a little chuckle to a little joke. Yeah, getting out of work with your gas there, McLeod. Very good, very, very slick. And so I laugh about it, but at the time it was a little bit embarrassing because I was 19 years old, and I'm not trying to get out of work faking anything ever, faking some illness or something. I was legit scared, like, this hurts. And the thing is, that actually was like a sharp stabbing pain I had that day. This that I experienced 3.5 weeks ago, it was an ache. It was painful, but it was just that. It was more of an ache, a sharp ache, more than a, like, unrelenting, ain't going away. Like, every time I looked up appendicitis, they talk about it feels like somebody's got a knife in you, and they're stabbing, they got the knife in you, won't let go. It's like an unrelenting pain. I'm thinking, is it that painful? I don't think it is. Plus, the ache, the pains were kind of spread over, even though it was in that, mainly that lower right quadrant over there where your appendix is. So I didn't call 911. I eventually just got up, talked with my dispatcher about what was happening. I told her, look, I might call for help. I'm not sure. I'm sick here. Just to let her know, my dispatcher. I don't know what's up, but I'm sick. I got with the people at the gate, walking like, barely walking, because it hurt to walk. Anybody who could see me would probably say, that dude's sick. He's dying. He's something. He doesn't look right. Finally got with them, and I'm just suffering as I'm listening to these security people. Lord love them. They're just doing their job. But there's a little bit of drama going on in there, and I'm just kind of waiting. If you've ever been sick and had to be around anybody, and you didn't want to be around them, but it's just like you're trying to get home, or you're trying to get to the hospital, you're trying to get through, but you're there, very sick, and you're just kind of, and you're just waiting for the world to comply, to let you go, like, please give me my paperwork, please give me this, I'm just trying to get home, that kind of thing. And I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody what was going on with me. I'm just standing there. Finally process me in, tell me what I need to do, drop my trailer, pick up. I was also picking up from there. Drop my loaded trailer, pick up a loaded trailer, and that was going to get me all the way back down to, I think I was dropping it at the yard in Mobile. I can't remember else where I was delivering this load that I picked up at Marietta. Anyway, got the load, and it was just painful to drive because of the way I felt. And it was like this all the way home. I would drive for a good ways, and I'd be like, man, I don't know what's going on. Do I need to call an ambulance or not? And if you're watching this, you're probably screaming at me right now, call an ambulance. Yes, of course you should call an ambulance. Call 911, David. Idiot. That's what you do when you're in that situation. And that's what I'm asking all of you to do if you're in that situation, or anything you think is a medical emergency and your body is crying out, yes, let's go get checked out. Let's go now. But I didn't. I was thinking about, even though I do have insurance now, I was thinking about you know what? This is a long video where I'm giving you all these details about what I was thinking. I'll go ahead and tell you all of this. I was thinking about the logistics, which was playing another mental mind game on myself, thinking, David, if you're really that concerned about where you're going to park the truck, and if you do call 911, I'm imagining all the scenarios, like how do I get from place to place in my mind. Like, that was having like a boomerang effect where it was coming. If you're thinking about Where is somebody going to mess with the truck while you're in the hospital? What if you're in the hospital several nights? What if something happens? How are you going to get back? You're flat broke. Even though you have insurance, you can get the process rolling with some care here if you need medical attention, David. Even if you don't have medical, they'll take you in the emergency room. Like, hey, this guy needs help. Get him in a room. Help this woman. Help. That's just the way the hospital medical system works. They don't just leave you to suffer in the gutter and die. They'll bring you in and do what's what. Evaluate you, find out what's wrong. That's what I was thinking. It's like, it must not hurt that much. And that's just what kept coming back to me. I know I've said that 10 times already, but it's like, I don't think it's that painful. Even though it was painful, it's like, I don't feel like somebody's got a knife in me, because that's the description that was just burned in my brain, like an unrelenting, constant thing. You think something's burning and gonna burst, like a rupturing appendix. At least that's what the meanings of these words have always meant to me. So, speeding up a little bit, I was parked at this TA truck stop. I forget where. I think I was in Virginia by that time. And I even Googled, like, emergency services and doctor's offices in there. I remember on Google it showing, like, 3 miles away, there was, like, a volunteer service where I'm like, I think this might be exactly what I need to take me to the hospital if I need somebody to take me. Or maybe bring me back, or would the police come here to get me if an ambulance can't, or just all the stuff running through my head. I'm still thinking, you just got gas, David. You just got gas. And so I went in, already having Googled, as I'm driving, what do you get for gas? Because I've never had a bad case of gas like that. Gas X, what else? That's what the answer was on Google. Go into the TA, they have nothing for gas. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't believe this. Like 20 minutes of walking in slowly because it hurts to walk, especially when I step on my right leg. It's like, I'm looking in there, it's huge TA. They got a little mini mall type thing. It's a strip mall attached to the truck stop. They were selling clothes and stuff in this whole other wing of this big building. They got a Papa John's and a Popeyes and there's like several restaurants in there, right? And a big parking lot, which I appreciate. But I'm looking at their pharmaceuticals on offer, and I'm like, of course they got cough drops, stuff for indigestion, Motrin. I bought some Motrin. I'm like, hey, maybe this will help me with this pain. But then later on, when I was thinking maybe I had like diverticulitis, like a mild case of diverticulitis because of that pain, you shouldn't have taken that Motrin, David. You shouldn't do that. It can increase bleeding if bleeding is already happening in your lower bowel there. And I'm just like, this is a truck stop. I'm a truck stop. I don't have gas, but I know a lot of people do. How could you be a truck stop and not supply these truckers with some Gas X? Anyways, I got some Motrin and some Pepto-Bismol. Keep in mind, looking back, I know now what the issue was. It was appendicitis. And here I am taking Pepto-Bismol and Motrin. Let me keep going. Wrestling that night, couldn't sleep well or for very long. Finally got enough rest. Start my day, and I just kept going. And that next day, I think, I went a route that I've never been to before because I was having to deliver to Macon, Georgia. So I wasn't going down into Atlanta around the Beltway. I was going to Macon with that. That was going to be some off-road, at least for me, some more state roads, county roads, but still it was a nice piece of road, 4 lanes, or 2 lanes, either way. But it was just a road that I'd never driven before. And all the while just thinking, I don't know what's up. I just know this hurts. And I'm taking the Gas X now. That morning, I hadn't started up maybe 45 minutes. I know I need fuel because I'm about to run out. Got the fuel, went in, and I was like a magnet. I'm like, hey, zzz, I could see it from a long ways away as I'm walking I was in a Love's truck stop, and I thanked the guy in the front of the Love's. Thank you for having this. TA didn't have anything for gas. It's like, oh, wow, that's interesting. I was like a magnet. I saw the gas X in there, rows of stuff. Didn't take my eyes off, and I'm like, again, this is where I'm at. I think this is going to be the cure for what I've got. No. In fact, I hadn't thought about this until I started talking about it a minute ago, remembering the gas X. Probably wasn't a good idea taking that gas X, considering what I actually had wrong with me. And I can laugh about it now. It wasn't funny at the time, and it was about to get a whole lot less funny in the days to come. But again, I'm giving you the whole journey in this video. Got going, drove all day, and toward the evening time, and this is with every bump and nick and hole in the road, every transition of a bridge, everything, every jolt of the truck hurt in there, like a vibration. It would like surge my body, but it would end right there in your lower right abdomen where your appendix is. Every time, I'm like, I just got to get home. I just got to get home. Either I'm going to get better, or hopefully I can get home and go to the doctor then. That's just how I did things, and I wish I hadn't done things that way. I wish I had called for help. I wish I had called an ambulance. In fact, really, realistically, going back in time, imagining myself being more rational, more sensible in my decision-making processes. Maybe not when it was first happening, but that night at the Petro, before I started driving, when I would have had my issues going on for maybe a full day, that's reasonable. Walking like an old man or a very diseased man who's in constant pain across that lot amidst all those trucks, so slow, with my Motrin and my Pepto-Bismol. That night, I shouldn't have been wrestling with myself about, what should I do? What should I do? That night is when I should have called an ambulance. That's the most reasonable time, looking back, because I would have been having something wrong with me that I know something's wrong for about a full day. Because the next day, I drove all the way to Macon, and I parked, and toward the evening hours, and it rained all day. I don't know what that was about, but that's just the way it happened. It rained all day. And something came over me. I don't know if it was that my appendix had fully ruptured, and this is what Google tells you about when you read about appendicitis, that the pain will start to go away, or go away completely, and you'll feel like a false sense of, it even says deceptive. You'll think it's all better, whatever your problem was, it's over now. But what is actually happening is that the bacteria, all that bacteria that your your appendix contains, is released. The appendix is ruptured, and that mucus, that bacteria, is now released in your lower abdomen. It's gonna get all up in your abdominal lining. It's gonna cause peritonitis, I think it's called. And the great danger of appendicitis is that you are likely going to get sepsis. If you get sepsis, you're likely going to die. That's why appendicitis is such a big deal. Now, I don't know if that's the case, because it still did hurt bouncing in the truck, but only when it bounced. And that's another thing that my mind was playing games with me. It's like, it's not a constant pain. It's only when, and I was just hung up on that phrasing that I read, and Google can't be wrong, right? The internet told me. It's like somebody's got a knife in you, and it's like unrelenting. It's like, I just messed up. I know I messed up, but anyway, I just kept going. The evening hours of that night, and it must have been Friday the 1st, when was this? It was Friday the 29th of May. Looking at the calendar, just trying to remember. Something came over me in the coolness of the day because it's been raining so much. I'm in Georgia, on my way to Macon. I know where I want to get parked. There's a truck stop near where I deliver in Armstrong, to Armstrong, worldwide. That it's a dirt lot, but they almost always have places. I've never gone there and it was so packed that I wasn't able to park there for free, which is so great. So I knew I wanted to go, and in the evening hour, something happened where it was like, I was like, I don't know if it's called an outer body experience. I don't like that phrasing, but I can't think of anything. It was like, I felt nothing. I suddenly, in my mind, it's like I felt nothing. It was so cool, the air coming on me, and I kept alternating between because the coolness had like a relieving effect over, like, one, the stress, but also the pain, because I was sick and feverish, alternating the defrost and the cool for hours of that trip. And then for like 2 or 3 hours, I was listening to Peter Schiff, of all things, listening to one of his podcasts from one of his recent uploads, and understanding everything he's saying, just listening to his voice. But it's like the way I heard him, it was like it just going in, and I can't describe how I felt, but it was like my body, the rest of my body feels nothing. I can feel the coolness. I'm not dizzy. I'm not nauseous. I'm not disoriented. I'm just here. And I can't explain. I can't explain. I can't explain exactly how I felt, but it was just like, I'm looking around. I know it's the fever. It had to have been like a delirium of sorts, but I just remember thinking, I wouldn't mind feeling like this all the time if I could, because it's like, wow, it feels kind of nice to not feel anything except it's a little bit of cool. And I understand I'm listening to this podcast, and it was just like, am I conscious or not? I'm in a dream. I don't know. I just felt so strange. Anyways, finally got parked, wrestling with pain again that night, sleeping on and off. Finally got up in the morning, started my day, delivered at Macon. It was a painful process. It was a painful process jacking the landing gear of the trailer. Got this big crank that you turn, and at least especially as far as my right side is concerned, I was just like, it becomes so tedious, so laborious, because of this aching pain I had in my lower right side over here. Dropping that trailer, picking up another one, doing all the usual stuff at Macon, taking the paperwork to the guy in the office. They finally acknowledge your existence. They come over, they sign it, you leave. Go to my next pickup. What did I pick up at? Oh my goodness. I had to go to... Looking back on this now, from where I am and knowing what I had, but not knowing at that time what I had. Oh man. There's this place in McIntyre, Georgia. It's a place where we pick up these loaded trailers and deliver them to Mobile, Alabama. These 44,000-pound loaded trailers. It's just such a tedious place. I've never liked going there. It's out of the way. It's not in the middle of nowhere, but almost. It doesn't take very long to get there, but it's just, you go back into the boonies for a bit, and some customers and receivers are just better at getting you in and out with their signing of paperwork and everything. I hate places where you got to get people's attention if they're not in the office. Anyways, I waited like 45 minutes just for somebody to show up, all the while thinking, I should probably be in a hospital because I don't know what's wrong with me, and I'm too dense to something. And that's what I'm still trying to figure out. Maybe you can help me. Be gentle in the comments, please. I'm too something to make a good decision for myself regarding a medical emergency. It's like if I were shot by somebody, it would be obvious. If I were stabbed by somebody, it would be obvious. But it's like there's that part of you that just hates going to the doctors because you never know what they're going to be like. You never know what they're going to say. You never know how much it's all going to cost. And that's another thing that was eating at me, the fact that I'm flat broke at that point. I've got money in the bank right now, but it's like it's the stuff that just bothers you, which again was boomeranging in my brain, like it must not be that painful, David. Maybe you just got a bad case of gas. And again, I was taking the Gas X 2 a day until they were gone. I had like 8 of those pills, that you just little slip of them that you buy in a truck stop. Finally, somebody showed up, and I was thinking the whole time. I was literally thinking, if nobody's here, nobody gives a care. This place is always iffy anyways about if your trailer is loaded and you can be on your way. Like, if nobody's going to show up, I'm just going to go get parked, and I'll come back here Monday. No, that that in reality, that's not something that was going to happen. Even though I could have, technically, it just would have been the flat out wrong thing for me to be doing. Because even when I came back home, I still technically had that much time. By having that much time, hopefully you'll understand as we go forward in this video. Again, I'm going to try and keep it under an hour. I see we're at 37 minutes here. Somebody finally showed up. I was relieved, got the paperwork. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Get out of the place. Go get the trailer. And these jabronis have not even shut the trailer door on the left side properly. The top of it is not latched and it's holstered. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I can't shut the other one. And if you know anything about something you need to know if you don't know about tractor trailers, these doors, it's not like the door in your house. The sheet metal framing of a dry van, 53-foot semi trailer is just so flimsy. The framing, it's kind of wobbly. You must be on even ground for these doors to shut and latch smoothly the way they're supposed to. Couldn't get it to shut, so I'm like, because there's no wrestling with it. There's no He-Man, I'm going to make you get in. No. I've got to pull out, which I did, get onto even ground, shut both doors properly, put the seal on. But where's the seal? I'm like, I know I had the seal in my hand. The seal that goes into the little latch hole, and it's something meant to kind of cover the drivers and ensure that nothing was tampered with inside of the trailer in between the time your truck driver left the shipper and got to the receiver. Like, where's the seal? Where's this little plastic thing? Where's the seal? I must have dropped the seal. And so I'm slowly walking because each footstep is painful. And I'm looking, it's so ridiculous. I'm like, I had appendicitis. And I went back looking on the ground where I walked for the seal, which I covered my stuff pretty good because I found it. I found the seal, shut the doors, put it on, got out of there, and drove home that night. Now, I got home on Saturday, the 30th of May. Yes, May 30. And just to speed up a little bit, I still was thinking I had some kind of a bug, gas, maybe food poisoning. Or my mom said maybe it's a light case of diverticulitis. I got home that night, Saturday night, after another painful drive, just feeling sick, feeling icky, feeling like I'm not going to do anything except get a good hot shower and go to bed, which I did. So I was home that Saturday night and Sunday, May 31, and Monday, the 1st of June. And for both of those days, I just basically felt the same slight achiness over here. The horrible gas pains that were floating and kept me so uncomfortable had largely faded, but they were still there. And I couldn't get too comfortable, even though the pain had subsided some. And just to go ahead and share the full details as we actually get into the appendicitis diagnosis part of this video, I promise I won't ever talk about my bowel movements again in another video. I promise. But for this video, I've got to, for the sake of those. This is a public service announcement is what this is. I'm trying to help people, and I'm joining in with all the other people who've made videos about their medical emergencies and their appendicitis and their cancer and all the stuff that happens to people. And it's my turn. It's just my turn. I've got to tell you about my bathroom visits now. Now, it was a quick, very, very loose, watery, black explosion. There. That's what it was like. I would need to go, and I would go, and it would be over very quickly, and because it was so biley, I think is what the right word is, I would have to, the cleanup was just too much. And so, again, I'm giving you all the details for this journey of my illness, and also tell you that the Google description, I keep going back to Google because that's just the main search engine when you look stuff up, and what helps educate lots and lots of people about things. The Google description about appendicitis, how it starts, what it is, it's spot on. It is literally what happened to me. That Wednesday night prior, when I was telling you about where the pain started, there was like this concentrated, like I could actually like see my belly, my frame kind of extended, just feeling like it was kind of swole up. I'm like, that's another thing that made me think it was gas. But what I'm talking about is this particular ball right under your diaphragm, right in the middle of you, of it's pressure, it's painful, not extremely painful, but it's there. It's a swelling of something. It's the beginning of the appendicitis. And then the pain just, I thought it was air, I thought it was gas, because what's the word? Gastrointestinal issues, air in their pain. It can be so painful. I know a lot of people in agony with the issues that they have because of that. And so I was thinking maybe that's what I got. I just want to put emphasis on that in this point of the video. That is exactly what happened to me, right in the middle, right under your diaphragm. If you ever experienced that, with this following: a ball of air, gas, whatever you might think it is, right there in the center, right there under your diaphragm, starting off, and then just kind of floats around and lands over on your right lower abdomen. Go to the doctor immediately, because that is exactly what's happening. That is, can't say guaranteed, but I'll say 99% chance that's appendicitis. And you got to go, because you need to try and get it before it ruptures, because if it ruptures, you're in it's a whole nother ball game in terms of the medical emergency and the kind of bad situation you could be in if it ruptures before a doctor, a surgeon can remove it. So where was I? For 2 days, that Sunday and Monday, I was literally doing this thing. I was eating some yogurt, thinking this will be good for my stomach, which it is. Good for your stomach, good for good bacteria, good for your intestinal whatnot, gut health generally. Yogurt. I ate some soup, ate just some whatever we have around here, and when I was going to these Black Death is what I call it, bathroom visits of this sudden explosion. Not a lot in the toilet. I just felt so bad and like with no energy and just, that I was just immediately stepping into the shower, a nice hot shower, just to feel better, just to feel soothed, let the hot water roll on my forehead, just let it cool me off, let it relieve me, let it soothe me. I did that like 3 or 4 or 5 times over the course of those couple of days. And now we finally come to it. The hospital. Tuesday. What was that? Tuesday, June 2nd. I woke up, it's another day, and I'm still talking with my dispatcher, like, I'll be over this maybe a couple days, I hope, but I'm going to need a couple more days. You know what? Let me have the rest of the week to deal with this. She's like, okay, no problem. No rush. Because I work for a pretty good company. They're very, very understanding, trying to help you. And 3 nights now of trying to sleep in my bed, trying to live, just feeling icky and telling myself, it wasn't the diverticulitis possibility, a soft version of that. It was food poisoning. I would convince myself that I had food poisoning. And it was just something that it wasn't killing me, but it just needs more time to run its course. That's what's going on here. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's going on here. No. And after all of the internal dialogue, after all of my nonsense, all of my thinking, my mother and my sister had encouraged me, don't you think you need to go to the doctor? I think maybe you need to go get checked out. Because, just to do it. So you'll know what's up. And maybe they can give you some medicine or something. Not forcing me, not yelling at me, just encouraging me. Don't you want to go to the doctor? We can go to the doctor. That Tuesday morning. Oh, man. June 2nd. I was thinking to myself about how I feel, about how like the pain's largely gone away, but I'm like feverish and just not feeling too good. And I had taken the rest of the Gas X, and I had decided against taking any more Motrin. I didn't take any more Motrin except for that one time in the truck stop. Eating the yogurt, doing this, that. What else? Seemed like I was taking something else besides the Gas X, but I can't remember what it was. Probably a bad idea, either way, considering. But I was just thinking to myself, it was that moment of clarity, like if you've been sick for an extended period of time, where you finally just listen to your body. Instead of trying to think, you just listen to your body. I said to myself, I'm not getting better. I'm not actually getting better. And maybe I do need to go ahead and just go to the doctor. That moment, my mom knocks on the door, and she comes in checking on me. She sits on the bed and says, don't you think maybe we can go to the doctor? And she's encouraging me again. You want to go to the doctor? I can drive you. We'll go to the doctor. I'm like, yeah, we'll go ahead and go to the doctor. Half of me, even then, was thinking, I'm just trying to pacify these two. But another part of me was like, you know what? I've just got food poisoning, and the doctor is where it's at. The doctor has drugs, and the doctors are going to give me the good stuff, and the good stuff is going to make me better. It's going to drive out this bug, this whatever's wrong with me, right? So I get in the car. We drive to doctor's office there, Lucedale, Mississippi, and get in processed. Takes not too long. Very blessed that there weren't a lot of sick people showing up on that Tuesday morning. And yeah, that's a good thing. That's always a good thing. Maybe 3 or 4 people, maybe 5. Some were there when we got there. They then left. A couple more came in after us. And you've been to the doctor's office before, just the regular doctor's office, not the hospital, the doctor's office, where the place is over half full, and you're like, oh no. This was almost a deserted waiting room. Anyway, got checked in. Finally saw the nurse practitioner, whatever. They check you in, they weigh you, you wait in the room, and she immediately just comes in with like a little, kind of like a furrowed brow, like, "How are you feeling? When did this start? What's going on with you?" And I just told her about where the pains are and how I've been sick a few days and was driving, couldn't get to sleep, and just I'm not sure. I can't even remember exactly what I told her, just how I felt. And I was just kind of hoping we could get to the part where she's going to prescribe me some good drugs and help make me better. And she's like, "You know what? I want you to go next door. Get a CT scan. We want to rule out some things. We want to rule out." I had told her I think I was concerned of appendicitis, but at the same time, it's like I don't think I remember telling her this. I now remember the same thing I'd been thinking for 5 days. I know it's like they say you like I got like a sharp stabbing, but I don't feel like somebody's like stabbing me. It's like it comes and goes. And it kind of hurts when I move sometimes, which is true. I didn't lie, but it's like what's what? I don't know. And the thing is, there's another aspect to this where if you have appendicitis and you get to the part where it's actually ruptured, your mind actually can start playing tricks on you because of the bacteria that's released and the relief from the pain and stuff like that. Well, she says, go next door and have this done. We want to rule some things out and get a good look at what's going on in there. It'll help us diagnose, prescribe what's up. So okay, we got to do what we got to do. Walk. The hospital's right next door. Walk across the lot. No waiting more than 10 minutes tops, and it's pretty wild. This part is pretty wild in retrospect, looking back. And at 51 minutes, 52 minutes, this is going to go longer than an hour, folks. I'm sorry about that, and I'm probably going to lose my camera. I'll just start over where I leave off if that's what happens with this phone. I'm waiting, and God bless my mom who drove me. She's making small talk conversation with a nice lady who's waiting in there, and then another lady who she recognized, and I thought I recognized her too. On second thought, not really. She just looks like somebody who we kind of know, and she's just having such a pleasant conversation. I'm just in la la land, just looking at my mom and the way she's able to talk with people and just be friendly, and I'm just kind of in awe, just in admiration of her the way I always am, and I think she went to use the restroom when they called me into the thing, and this took all of 5 minutes to do the CT scan. The young guy brought me in. They had me lower my pants a little bit, not to interfere with the picture they were going to take. They put you in the thing that says, "Hold your breath now, breathe now," that all that stuff. They put you through. Nice young guy, friendly, got me in and out in like 5 or 6 minutes. Got up off that table with my aching side and just feeling sick, feeling bad, feeling like I was a zombie, because I didn't really mean to say that, but yeah, you if you get sepsis, you are basically becoming the living dead. Your body is going to start dying from the inside out. If the bacteria gets into your bloodstream, that's how it works. It's horrible, but that's how it works, and that's what was starting to happen to me. Still in this la la land. Okay, so if you'll go wait in there, and they'll get with you in just a second with your results. Wonderful. I'm about to be done here. Gonna go back over there. We're gonna get some drugs and go home. Yes, that's what's gonna happen. Sit right back down in the seat where I was before, just kind of smiling, just like I'm doing what I got to do. They wanted me to come to the doctor's office. I've come to the doctor's office. I'm a good guy. I comply. I'm a good son. I'm a good brother. And I'm going to be feeling better soon. Yes. I don't know what all that taking a picture of me was all for, but I'm sure it's all good. And there's a sign in the distance down the hall, 75 years of this hospital, Bluestone, Mississippi. I see my mom down there. She stops. She must have gotten back from the restroom. She stops to take a picture of it, and she's making a conversation with somebody on her way back about how, or maybe it was before I went in, whatever, about how 75 years this hospital's been here. They got the nice blown up balloon on the thing, and she's making friendly conversation with somebody, telling her the true story of how her brother, my Uncle Junior, was the first baby boy delivered in this hospital. Because that's my mom. That's my mom for you. Uh, Great stuff, great stuff. And I'm just looking at her, smiling in the distance as she comes back to me. Uh, the lady comes out. She hands me the tech, the actual people of the hospital, give me a disc and a piece of paper, and this look in her eyes. It says, "Now look, take this disc and go right back to the doctor. I've called her. She's going to be waiting on you. So go ahead and go right back to the hospital, okay?" Okay, yes, ma'am. I follow my instructions. Start to leave the hospital. We're not quite out of the last hallway, about to walk across the lot to go back to the doctor's office, and I'm actually reading the paper, right? It's got the results of the x-ray they just took of me, the scan. And I'm reading it, and it's like heart, liver, lungs, all looks good. And something that it actually is kind of funny. This actually is kind of funny. My lower back has been having issues. I've been having issues with my lower back for like the past 2 or 3 years, and I know it's because of the truck driving. I've done almost 1 million miles, and I was in my 30s before I really got into this. Not that I don't know that that really matters or not, but the point is, almost 10 years, it's like I know something's up with my back, and it ain't good. It talks about L1 or L5 because that it took at least enough picture of my back bones, my vertebrae, to see this significant degeneration or something like that. And it actually says there is degenerative disease at this level. That's what this paper says. And I'm like, oh, great. I didn't mean to get checked out for, I knew I would need to go get it addressed one day, but here in this x-ray, they basically just told me, yeah, your lower back is jacked up from truck driving. So I was kind of like, I was chuckling about that, like, hey, while I was here, I found out about my back for good, for real, just incidentally. And then we get to the part where it says impressions, and it says there is, and it gives the exact dimensions, 5 centimeter by something or other by 5 centimeter, blah blah blah. Abscess in keeping with a ruptured appendix in the lower right quadrant and everything. I'm just reading this as I'm going out, and I'm like, yeah, it's ruptured. I'm looking right at this paper. They just took a picture of me. I got a ruptured appendix. And then all of the info I've ever read, some of it very recent, in my brain is just flowing through at that point. It's like, I've got a ruptured appendix. I'm in serious jeopardy here. I might die soon. That's what is going through my mind as I'm reading this paper, because, and this happened almost immediately. I'm like, you stupid moron, you idiot. This started Wednesday night. You fool. I almost couldn't look at my mom as I'm walking out. She's talking to me. She's talking at me, but I'm like, all I can see is this paragraph at the bottom where it says impressions and what's up. Ruptured appendix, surgical, whatnot is strongly recommended. The doctor I was talking to to begin with has already been notified of this that I'm reading, and draining is almost certainly required, or I read something like that. I was going to find out more about that in the future, the very near future. The draining of the abscess, and yeah, I went into kind of like a cold sweat, because it's like, I know what's going on now. Appendix is ruptured, and I'm in I'm in big trouble here. I almost couldn't look at mom. I was almost like some part of me was like too humiliated to look at anybody in the eye, because it's like, you can't get away with this, David. You can't get away with ignoring a ruptured appendix for 4 or 5 days. Actually, right on the cusp of 6 days from when the pain started. Wednesday night to that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to when it was finally addressed Tuesday evening. Yeah, 6 days. 6 days. You can't get away with this, David. That's all that was in my mind. From the moment I'm looking at these words on this paper, telling Mom it's ruptured. I got a ruptured appendix. They told me to go talk to the doctor. I get in there, and she's looking at me. She's looking at the paper and like talking about like how do you feel? And listen, we got to get this addressed. When did this start? She asked me again. Well, it got started. Really got started Wednesday night. And she's looking at me. And I don't know if you've seen like in a movie or something where somebody is just in disbelief, just stressed out. The slowest, most intense way she could say the word S-H-I-T, like, that's how she looked at me, and that's how she said that word. When I said, well, it started Wednesday night, she's like, you didn't call? I think, did she say that to me or not? I can't remember. All I can remember is kind of laughing like somebody on death row maybe about what he wants for his last meal or something. Like, I don't know. You know, I'm a truck driver. I'm always gone. I don't know what to do. You pick up the phone, you call 911, David. That's what you do. She's like, listen, we got to get you in and the people who can do it at Loosedale are not here today. So, which way do you want to go? You want to go to Hattiesburg, Mississippi? You want to go down to the coast? Or you want to go to Mobile? I picked Providence Hospital in Mobile, Alabama. Just because I've driven by there so many times and I've looked at the way the building is with the neat architecture and the windows, and I've always liked the place. And it's right next to Cardiology Associates, a place I have to visit yearly for another issue. And I just picked that because it was the shortest distance to anything I could think of also. That's another reason. And she was like, you want an ambulance? Is there somebody who can drive you? I said, my mom can drive me. She was like, well, all right, buddy, you're going into surgery. That was like her last words to me. And I think she like patted me on the back as she got me out of there. And I told Mom, what's up? We got into the car. Or I was just like moping, like with my head down, just trying to get one foot in front of the other. Just disbelief, thinking it's probably going to be my last moments on earth, just all kind of stuff. Just as I got to the car, I'm communicating with Mom enough, like I'm saying words, but I looked at her, but it's like I almost can't even look at her because the way I felt, like, what a fool, what a fool. We drove at 70 miles an hour or so with the flashers on to Mobile. She's calling up everybody on her cell phone while she's driving. And she got emotional when she told somebody, I can't remember who, like she started like cry, like put my hand on her shoulder and said, Mom, please don't cry. Don't cry. It was more comfortable for me to lean back, to make the chair in the car lean back. And so I got a little bit of relief from being in that position and just closing my eyes, and I just started like praying and talking to God and just trying to say it is well with my soul and my mind, right? Just becoming very prayerful and just saying, I know what's up. I know what might be coming at me. It ain't going to be pleasant, and it might be the end. It might be the end. Because I just kept thinking about how long it had been since it got started, and I kept saying to myself, you ain't getting away with this, David. You should have called for help. You should have called an ambulance. You should have called 911 like 4 days ago, if you were smart. And again, it's been something I've been thinking about as far as like, is it a pride thing? Is it a mental thing? Is it psychological? Is it a combination of things? It's like, how much pain do I think I need to be in before I call somebody for help? And the thing is, I still don't have the answer. Although after what I've been through the past 3 weeks, especially that couple of weeks after that this happened, I will be calling for help if anything approaching that ever happens to me again. And I won't be so dumb about it. I won't be so stubborn. Got to the emergency room in Providence Hospital. My mom was afraid we were going to run out of gas. I'm like, we'll make it. And there are gas stations all around that hospital, so we'll be fine. Got in there, and then nothing. It's like, oh man, this place is almost completely packed, the emergency room. And I'm like, oh man, this isn't what I was hoping for. Because all the way there, the 45, 50-minute drive to Mobile, I was like, maybe I'll call them myself, and maybe somebody can meet me with like a emergency room bed. They can wheel me in, and I can just submit myself to all the stuff. And that, I did have that attitude. There was no problem. Once I knew what was up, it's like, there was no, oh, I don't like needles. No. I was just like, they need my arm, here's my arm. And that's the way it was for the next 8 days. They put, when I finally got called, because we had to wait for a little while just to get into the emergency room bed. Not an actual room in the hospital, just the emergency room portion of the hospital. And again, I'm not complaining because I'm alive and I'm okay. And I love Providence Hospital now. I just like talking about this now, I think, just for the adventurousness that it was, and to say thank you to God. Thank you to God. Thank you to God over and over again that things worked out the way that they did. It was starting to get to me. Like I said, I went into like a cold sweat when I was looking at the paper, the results of the CT scan, and I'm like, the second I knew beyond any shadow of a doubt, this ain't food poisoning, David, this ain't diverticulitis, this ain't a bug. Part of your guts exploded, and you're in serious trouble. That's what actually happened. I went into like this cold sweat where the feverishness that I had been going through for 2 or 3 days is really starting to get to me. When I finally got in there, finally got in process, and I couldn't speak loudly. I was just too spent and sick. And just, I was done. It was like, I couldn't yell at anybody if I wanted to. I was just like, I'm here. They were supposed to call ahead. The nurse, the doctor at Loosedale's, they called ahead for me, right? I have a ruptured appendix. She's not looking at me. She's typing up all this stuff, the lady at the front desk. She's like, okay, what's your problem again? I have a ruptured appendix. I almost can't speak. That's what the deal was like for me. Had me process it, and Mom was good enough to start the patient portal login thing. Got a place to sit. My sister showed up, always very supportive. She was, I think, door dashing in Mobile and came over there. And yeah. You know what? After an hour and 8 minutes, I know this camera is going to be spent. So I didn't mean to go on this long with this, folks, but it is what it is. What I'm going to do is stop this, and we'll pick up the story when I'm in the emergency room. And it won't be much longer, I promise. So stay tuned. I'll be right back.